We got an annual down here, possible alleged hacking slash cheating. We're gonna need you to take a look, boss.
It was a snowy night in Brooklyn, like usual. I was at the local diner visiting my bitter mistress. Coffee, black, no sugar. I had gone to the bitter final sip of my coffee as I was enjoying my break off duty. These nights seem longer the more I look out the window of the diner I now seem to call home. It had been a tough night, dealing with the usual scum. I just wanted a coffee, that's all I look forward to every night. That sweet bitterness keeps me on edge. However, it couldn't keep me on edge for what I experienced that night. As soon as I placed my lips on that ceramic mug from my last sip of coffee, I had gotten a phone call. It was my wife. She called me letting me know that she was done with me and my work. She left that very night with a young man from Detroit. She claimed to be the only cheater I haven't caught. She wasn't lying. I never did catch her. I just wanted to enjoy that final sip of coffee, but now it only tasted sour. Hello everyone and welcome to the first episode of Choco's On the Case, in which we overwatch a suspect to make sure he's not doing any dastardly deeds. Today's suspect is accused of cheating slash wall hacking, and well, I mean they've always been accused of that stuff, but let's go ahead and take a look. As we can see from the score, counter-terrorists are currently 7 while the terrorists are 0, and that gives us an incentive here, letting us know that the terrorists are fucking salty right now. They're salty! Salt! So, I'm gonna take this case very lightly. I mean, of course, it could be due to hacking, but it doesn't look like that's the case for this one. This team seems to be doing really well, and the other team just can't keep up with it. If you noticed, our suspect here, he's been playing by the Bucks here. He's peeking outside, he's throwing his smokes, he's doing all that stuff like that. He just pre-fired there, but he didn't see anyone, which also gives me another reason why he's not doing any wall hacks or such like that, because otherwise he wouldn't shoot there, unless he's hiding it really well. But let's go ahead and keep watching and see what happens here. Okay, so here we have an instance in where our suspect here decides to sneak up behind this 4-man group. He's taking it rather slow here. He's checking his corners. You know, you can't be too safe. He shoots this guy down, gets a headshot on him, and then shoots the guy in the back, who's already been pretty damaged. He tries to shoot these two down, but in the end, he just couldn't do it. Let's take a closer look. So as we take a closer look here, we can see that he's pulling the reticule down and gets that headshot on that first gentleman. But while he's shooting at him, he accidentally shot the guy in the back, which gave him more damage, and he just got that body damage afterwards. You can see him trying to go for the head here, but he can't do it. He keeps getting body shots, and ultimately he dies. Seems pretty legit, and that also gives the terrorists their first win. With this instance here, we can start to tell the level of experience differs between the two teams, because as you can see, he flashed out, and while the guy was flashed, he ran towards the tunnel, which is always a bad idea. You're supposed to back out. So I can start to tell that this is a low game, and this guy was probably placed here as an unranked. But let's go ahead and take a closer look. If you notice, he's aiming above his head, and when he walks in, he gets the headshot there. He has his reticule lower than that man there, and once he sees him, he does raise his reticule to tap him out. Again, this just shows the level of experience this guy has, and it seems that he's just an all-around good player. So here we have a piece of evidence that lets us know what we're dealing with. He flashes out, he shoots, gets a headshot, the other guy misses his shots, and he ends up killing him too. He throws out an incendiary, and burns his own friend, and then he ends up shooting his own friend because he thought it was an enemy there. With walls, you wouldn't see that. This kind of shows us in plain sight that he's not using any sort of hacks here. The enemy team is just really mad. And then they even commence to start shooting each other because of how much, you know, fun they're having. I guess you can put it that way. One of their teammates dies, and then they go out and look for this guy. And eventually our suspect moves up knowing exactly where he is because he just killed his partner. He moves up, gets his deagle out, and tries to gun him down. So he takes a shot, he misses the first one, and he takes an additional 2, which ends up finally killing him. Again, the enemy team just keeps missing their own shots. I think I've seen all that I needed to see, and I can conclude that he is in fact innocent. The salty.